All right, let's get right into it. We've all heard that classic question, right? Maybe it was in a job interview, maybe just a conversation at work. Are you a manager or are you a leader? It sounds so simple, but wow, the answer is anything but. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise and figure out what these two things really mean.
So yeah, let's jump right in. This is way more than just some dry textbook definition, you know? This is a question that can literally shape your entire career. So, are we talking about two completely different paths here, or are they just two sides of the same coin? Well, we're about to find out. Okay, first up, let's put the manager under the microscope. Now, this role gets a bit of a bad rap sometimes. It's often misunderstood. But let me tell you, it is absolutely essential for any organization that actually wants to, function.
So what's it all about? Well, at its very core, management is all about administration and control. A manager is put in place to make sure the whole machine is running smoothly. Their authority, it comes from their job title, from their position. And their main gig is to make sure the work gets done, and it gets done right, and on time.
And this really gets to the heart of a manager's world. You can think of them as the masters of the how and the when. We're talking planning, budgeting, creating systems that are stable and predictable. Their number one goal is to keep risks low and make sure that all the day-to-day stuff gets done with absolute precision.
This is a perfect way to think about it. The manager is the skeleton that keeps the whole company standing upright. Seriously, without that essential framework, even the most brilliant, world-changing vision would just collapse into a pile of chaos.
Okay, so now let's flip the coin over and talk about the other side, the leader. This is the role that gets all the glory, right? It's often romanticized, but what does it actually mean to lead people? Here's the big difference right away. A leader's power doesn't come from a job title. Nope, it comes from influence and from trust. They're not just handing out tasks. They're painting a picture of the future and getting people so inspired they want to be a part of it. It's all about human potential and big picture transformation.
So remember how we said the manager is all about the how and the when? Well, the leader is all about the what and the why. They're the ones looking out at the horizon, not just staring at the path right in front of them. They're actually comfortable with change. They take smart risks. And their most important resource isn't the budget. It's the people they're leading. There's this classic quote from a guy named Warren Bennis that just nails the difference perfectly. He said, "The manager does things right, the leader does the right things." Think about that for a sec. One is all about efficiency, making sure the process is perfect. The other is about effectiveness, making sure we're even working on the right process to begin with. All right, so we've got the definitions down. Now for the fun part. Let's put them head-to-head in a kind of rapid-fire comparison. This will really show us where they split. First up, what's their core focus? For managers, it's systems and structure. For leaders, it's all about people and their potential. One maintains the machine, the other develops the people who run it. Okay, next, how do they feel about the status quo? Well, managers accept it. They maintain it. Leaders, they challenge it. They're all about driving change. Managers perfect what is, while leaders imagine what could be. And think about just the language they use. For the manager, the focus is often on individual accountability. The manager says, "I." But the leader, their language is all about collaboration. Their success is the team's success. The leader says, "We." Let's dig a little deeper with this. The manager's foundation is their authority, right? But for a leader, it's trust and influence. A manager is thinking short-term. Let's get this done today. A leader's thinking long-term. Where are we going this year? And get this, a manager is like a copy, perfecting a model that already exists. A leader? They're an original, creating a totally new one. Okay, so after all of that, I bet I know what you're thinking. It's the natural question, isn't it? So, who wins? In this big showdown, which one is more important? Which one should you be aiming for? And the answer is, drumroll please, that's totally the wrong question. This isn't a competition. It's not a versus match. The smartest, most successful organizations out there know that these two roles aren't rivals. They're essential partners. I mean, think about it. Imagine a company that's packed with only perfect managers. The trains would run on time every time. The budget would always be balanced. Everything would be super efficient. But without a leader, that train is just going around in circles on the same old track. It never explores new territory. There's no growth, no vision for what's next. Now let's flip that.
Picture a company that's only full of leaders. Oh man, it would be a whirlwind of amazing ideas, passionate speeches, and these huge, bold visions for the future. But without any managers, nothing would ever actually get done. It would just be, well, visionary chaos. All dream, no reality. And that, right there, is the key takeaway. The real magic happens when you bring them together. You absolutely need the visionary direction of a leader combined with the operational genius of a manager. Because let's be real, vision without execution is just a daydream. And execution without vision, that's a total nightmare.
Okay, so this is all great information, but what do we do with it? How do we actually apply this? What does this mean for you, for your career, and for any team you're a part of?
Which brings us to probably the biggest question of all. Can one person actually be both a manager and a leader? Do you have to pick a lane, or can you walk down both paths at the very same time?
The answer is a huge, resounding yes, absolutely. In fact, being able to do both, to inspire a team with a big vision and manage the day-to-day grind to get there, that's like a professional superpower. That hybrid leader-manager is exactly what the best organizations in the world are searching for.
So let's just reframe this whole debate, shall we? Maybe the ultimate skill isn't about choosing a title, about being one or the other. Maybe it's about developing the wisdom to know which hat you need to wear and when. When does your team need a manager to give them a plan, and when do they need a leader to give them a purpose? Answering that, well, that's the real challenge, and it's the key to making a truly lasting impact.